most powerful versions of Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom is now front and center in the Marvel Universe, so let's see which version of the armored supervillain has displayed the most power across
See who
his
is
history.
the most aura.
What's up, everybody? It's time to talk about the most dangerous man in the Marvel Universe, the villain who at times has made Thanos look like a playground bully. Yes, I'm talking about Victor Von Doom, and today we've partnered with Marvel Snap to count down his most ridiculously overpowered incarnations. Look, we all know regular Doctor Doom is already terrifying. He's a master of science and sorcery, he's the ruler of his own country with diplomatic immunity, and he's got a beef with pretty much everyone in the Marvel Universe, and yet he somehow always seems to come out on top. But what happens when you take that already crazy power level and crank it up to cosmic proportions? You get versions of Doom that make gods nervous, which is hopefully exactly what we're going to see when RDJ takes up the Doom mantle in Avengers Doomsday. Also, a bit later, we're going to introduce you to Marvel Snap, the digital card game that will probably be your next obsession. So buckle up, because we're diving into the times when Doctor Doom didn't just threaten the world, he put that junk on lockdown. And this is a ranked list, so each alternate version of Doom is exponentially more powerful than the last. Off we go.
The order increases, huh? That's what it is.
Let's kick things off in the future, specifically Marvel's
tough.
Doom 2099 series from 1993. In this story, we get a rebuilt version of Victor Von Doom on Earth 928, who wakes up in a dystopian, corporate-controlled hellscape and discovers that someone named Tiger Wilde has been ruling Latveria in his absence, which, as you might expect, Doom does not take well. Tiger was initially able to mount a resistance to Doom's attempt to reclaim his throne, but in the end, this version of Doctor Doom rebuilt his power from the ground up, literally conquering the United States and becoming president. Not through an election, mind you. He just imposed his will, dismantled corporate oligarchies that had ruled for decades, and established a new government. As a side note, Doom 2099 is also one of the two main Doctor Doom Marvel Snap cards you can play in the game, with the other being Earth 616 Doom, of course. But that's just a little fun fact for you. Anyway, what makes Doom 2099 formidable is his seamless integration of technology and strategy. His nuclear-powered titanium battlesuit features capabilities far beyond his original armor, including molecular expanders that can turn small objects into boulder-sized projectiles. It also has phase shifters for temporary intangibility and direct neural links to cyberspace networks. His nanotechnology enhanced reflexes also put him at superhuman levels. However, this is a most powerful list, and while Doom 2099 represents an evolution of the classic Doom formula, his power level remains primarily enhanced human with some cosmic tier technology, leaving him a regional conqueror rather than a universal threat, earning him the number 10 spot on our countdown.
Yeah, he wasn't all that.
Number 9 takes us to issues 15 and 16 from the 2013 Fantastic Four title, where we meet a version of Victor Von Doom from Earth 13266, who used the cosmic power siphon along with some time travel to absorb the powers of both Annihilus and Kang the Conqueror, giving him mastery over time and space and transforming him into Doom the Annihilating Conqueror. So from Doom himself came a genius intellect and mystical knowledge. From Annihilus came cosmic level power, command over the Annihilation Wave, and immortality via the cosmic control rod. And finally, from Kang the Conqueror came temporal manipulation abilities and 31st century technology. This combination of powers gave Doom the ability to control the negative zone and manipulate time itself, making him a universal constant that existed in multiple timelines simultaneously. And he was ultimately only defeated when an alternate Fantastic Four crashed their time-space ship directly into him while he was distracted. But the mix of these things represents one of the few times we've seen successful power absorption on this scale. Most Doom variants steal single power sources. This version successfully integrated 3 separate cosmic level power sets without losing his core identity or strategic thinking. But talking about these ridiculous power levels reminds me, I have been hooked on Marvel Snap lately, and they just recently dropped something that captures Doctor Doom's strategic genius perfectly. Okay, so if you haven't played Marvel Snap yet, you are missing out. I downloaded it last month, and now I'm sneaking in a match any chance I get. It's this fast-paced collectible card game where you build a deck of just 12 cards featuring Marvel icons like Spider-Man, Wolverine, Thanos, or even cosmic gods like Galactus. You battle over 3 locations at once, each with unique effects that totally change how you play. And here's the best part. Each match is just 3 minutes, and both players take turns at the same time, so it's constant mind games, no waiting. But here's the thing that really got me hooked. They just recently launched this limited time Grand Arena mode that only runs until August 7th, and you actually play as these champions, each with a theme deck and a unique skill card that starts in your opening hand. I've personally been running Doctor Doom, of course, flooding the board with Doombots and dropping high-cost cards early like a multiversal overlord. But there's something for every playstyle. For instance, Carnage devours your own cards for massive boosts, Human Torch buffs your hand for explosive plays, Invisible Woman hits you with sneaky negative power flips, The Thing drops 10 plus power bruisers, and Mr. Fantastic enhances ongoing effects. And another great thing is you don't need a huge collection. Pre-built decks mean you can fund. In the description you choose. Speaking of being steps ahead, coming in at number 8, we've got infamous Iron Man. Essentially, after the events of Civil War II, Dr. Doom attempted a heroic turn by combining his mystical mastery with Tony Stark's most advanced Iron Man technology. So this 12-issue series by Brian Michael Bendis explored what happens when Doom's genius intellect gains access to cutting-edge Stark tech. However, he didn't just use Stark tech, he improved it with magic, and the fusion proved to be amazing. Doom's armor during this period represented the perfect marriage of his magical abilities with Iron Man's technological supremacy. Flight systems, energy projection, enhanced durability, and AI integration all received magical enhancement, creating capabilities neither science nor sorcery could achieve alone. This version also showcases Doom as his most balanced, neither purely technological nor mystical, but a true fusion of both disciplines. Having said that, his power scale remained primarily Earth-based heroics rather than cosmic-level threats, which is the only reason he's not higher on this list. For our number 7 pick, we're jumping to Fantastic Four 57 through 60 from 1966, when Victor Von Doom from Earth 616 successfully drained the Silver Surfer's power cosmic using his specially designed cosmic conductors. This cosmic heist allowed him to achieve godlike abilities that briefly made him master of all mankind. It's also a moment in Doom's history that deserves recognition for establishing the template that countless cosmic-level Doom variants would follow. Anyway, the power cosmic grants control over fundamental universal forces, energy manipulation on stellar scales, matter transmutation at the molecular level, flight at faster than light speeds, near invulnerability, and cosmic awareness that reveals threats across galaxies. And Doom wielded these abilities with typical ruthless efficiency, immediately going on a destructive rampage to demonstrate his new godhood. But like I said, this storyline by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby established the precedent that Doom's greatest threats come not from his base abilities, but from his capacity to steal and master cosmic level powers through sorcery and scientific genius. Every subsequent cosmic-powered Doom variant basically owes its existence to this Dr. Doom story.
Original.
At the 6th spot, we have the first time we got the answer to the question, what if Dr. Doom were Sorcerer Supreme? Because the single issue What If Volume 2 Issue 52 explored a timeline where Victor Von Doom received proper mystical training instead of Stephen Strange. In this reality, Doom sought out the Ancient One specifically to gain the power needed to save his mother's soul from Mephisto. Then after some negotiation, the Ancient One agreed to train Victor, and he received complete mystical training without the distractions of ruling Latveria or battling the Fantastic Four. Over time, he had confrontations with Baron Mordo, and when Stephen Strange arrived seeking healing for his hands, Doom simply cut them off and replaced them with mechanical versions of one of his Doombots, which he considered a favor. Eventually, he also successfully defeated Mephisto and freed his mother's soul, something Earth 616 Doom has never permanently achieved. But during the battle with the demon, the Ancient One was killed, and the mantle of Earth's Sorcerer Supreme was passed to Doom. Victor then demonstrated exactly how powerful he had become by using the mystical Obsidian Stone to banish Dormammu back to the Dark Dimension. And while that battle did cost him his life, it was only due to his lack of experience against cosmic-level threats. It certainly wasn't for a lack of power, but even his final defeat involved transferring his consciousness into Stephen Strange's body, ensuring that Earth Sorcerer Supreme would always be Doom. Also add that while this was just a what-if story, it wasn't long before the idea of Doom gaining the power of the Sorcerer Supreme would make its way into other stories, and eventually the main continuity, including the next Doom on this lineup.
If we see T-Rex Doom, that would be crazy.
So coming in at number 5, we have Earth 22215's Victor Von Doom. This version of Doom represents what happens when his ambitions go beyond his own reality. Because this variant conquered his entire world, became both Sorcerer Supreme and Necromancer Supreme, then grew bored with the lack of a challenge. So his solution was to travel to the past and systematically slaughter prehistoric Avengers across multiple timelines. just for fun. But what makes Doom Supreme uniquely terrifying is his psychological warfare capabilities. For instance, his true face can drive other Doom variants insane just by looking at it. Because of this, he commands legions of enslaved alternate Doom variants, having broken their minds through pure psychological domination. But the whole point of Doom Supreme is that he's a multiversal threat, and to flex his power, he co-founded the Multiversal Masters of Evil alongside Mephisto. He also claims to have easily defeated Phoenix Force variants, Odin variants, and other powerful beings across multiple realities. To put it simply, when you can break the minds of other cosmic-level dictators, you've achieved a unique form of multiversal supremacy.
Everybody respects you after that.
Coming in at number 4 is Doomactus, a Doctor Doom Galactus hybrid. There are actually 2 versions of this massive alternate Doom, with one appearing in Marvel 2-in-1 issues 5 and 6, and the other in Infinity Wars Infinity Warps number 1. As you might imagine, he devours planets to satisfy an insatiable hunger for power and worship, replacing sentient life with Doombots and consuming worlds whole. Now, this version of Doom has only made a couple of small appearances, so there isn't much to say about it. But when you merge Victor Von Doom and Galactus, you automatically have one of the most powerful versions of any character, so he had to be on this list. But that breaks us into the top 3. All right, so in the original Secret Wars storyline of the 1980s, Earth 616 Doom briefly stole the Beyonder's omnipotent power, but eventually lost it due to his own psychological limitations. However, Earth 90251's version of this story asked a simple question. What if Doom had successfully retained those powers permanently? And the answer proved catastrophic for his reality. This Doom not only kept the Beyonder's omnipotent abilities, but used them to systematically eliminate all remaining heroes and conquer nations that had previously resisted him, including Wakanda and Atlantis. Then, with unlimited reality warping power at his disposal, he achieved every goal he'd ever imagined. But by far, the most impressive feat of this variant was his 400-year war against the Celestials, and he won. Yeah, the cosmic entities that judge entire species and reshape planets fell at the hands of this version of Doom. That's pretty much all you need to say, really. There was essentially no one who could oppose him in the end. That being the case, this version of Dr. Doom represents the only variant to permanently retain truly omnipotent power and successfully defeat all of Marvel's cosmic gods. But his endless pursuit of power and domination left the Earth lifeless and in ashes. But there are still a couple more alternate versions of Doom that beat this one, and one of them is the version that we are hopefully going to see emerge for the Avengers Secret Wars movie in 2027.
We're gonna get a merge of a lot of different Dooms.
All right, the runner-up on our list is the most recent and comes from current Marvel continuity. And that is the Sorcerer Supreme Dr. Doom that emerged from the Blood Hunt Vampire Invasion event after Doctor Strange's astral form desperately sought Doom's help. Doom agreed to assist against the supernatural threat under one condition, that Strange would temporarily transfer the Sorcerer Supreme mantle to Doom in exchange. Then, true to form, Doom betrayed this agreement, and after successfully dispelling the Dark Force dimension that had shrouded Earth and saving the world from vampires, he simply refused to return the mystical title. Now, styling himself as Emperor of United Latveria, which is his term for the entire world, he wields both his traditional scientific mastery and the complete mystical power of Earth's Sorcerer Supreme. The story around this main continuity Sorcerer Supreme Doom is still ongoing within the One World Under Doom event, but he has already single-handedly ended a global supernatural crisis, created impenetrable magical barriers around Latveria, convinced world leaders to recognize his authority, eliminated Hydra, battled Dormammu, temporarily restored Ben Grimm to human form, and banished the Fantastic Four across time. He's basically another perfect fusion of Earth 616 Doom's existing abilities with the full power of the Sorcerer Supreme. But this time, unlike what-if scenarios, this is happening in current continuity with ongoing and long-term consequences. He's a genuinely complex threat that is only growing over time, so who knows how far his power could go.
All
right, we have reached peak Doom, and at the summit stands the most powerful version of Dr. Doom ever created, God Emperor Doom. During Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars event, Victor Von Doom achieved something unprecedented. He killed the race of Beyonders and used their power to save what remained of the dying multiverse. How did he do this? Well, he worked with Doctor Strange and the Molecule Man to create a Molecule Man bomb that detonated when the Beyonders came to investigate multiversal incursions. And that explosion was powerful enough to kill beings who existed existed outside the multiverse itself and created it in the first place, which I gotta say is just peak comics right there. Anyway, the surviving Molecule Man then channeled their combined power directly to Doom, and for years after, God Emperor Doom ruled Battleworld, a patchwork planet assembled from fragments of destroyed universes. But the point is, his power during this period made him nearly omnipotent. He could resurrect the dead, rewrite memories on a planetary scale, manipulate matter at the subatomic level, and warp reality according to his whims. And to give you just a small sample of the feats he demonstrated, he casually killed Phoenix Force-powered Cyclops with a gesture. He also ripped out Thanos' skeleton barehanded, battled T'Challa wielding a complete Infinity Gauntlet and held his own, turned Johnny Storm into a living sun to provide light for Battleworld, and most importantly, he maintained perfect stability across a planet containing fragments of hundreds of different universes with conflicting physics. But what elevates God Emperor Doom above all other variants isn't just his power level, it's what he did with it. When Reed Richards finally arrived on Battleworld, Doom made the most un-Doom-like decision possible. He admitted that Reed could do better and secretly transferred his omnipotent power to his greatest enemy, allowing Reed to properly restore the multiverse alongside his son Franklin Richards and Molecule Man. This moment of genuine character growth combined with some good behavior during his reign establishes God Emperor Doom as not just the most powerful version, but potentially the most complex and ultimately heroic Doom variant ever created. Now that wraps up our top 10 most powerful versions of Dr. Doom, but we need to drop a few honorable mentions before we go. Let's start with Dr. Doom, the Living Planet from Earth 10964 and Earth 14412, who first appeared in Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine #2 in 2010. This is an aging Victor Von Doom who has transplanted his consciousness into an entire planet, becoming a colossal sentient world capable of interstellar travel and cosmic scale destruction. After that, we have yet another Sorcerer Supreme Doom, this time from Earth 14412. He appeared in Thor issues 5 and 6 of the 2018 Thor title and displayed some of the coolest feats of any of the Sorcerer Supreme Doom variants. At one point, he even battled All-Father Thor for 99 years before he was eventually defeated. After that, we have Dr. Doom's Thing from What If Dr. Doom Had Become the Thing issue 1, Dr. Doomsday from the Amalgam Universe, who is a Marvel DC fusion of Dr. Doom and Doomsday from X-Patrol #1 in 1996. And then there's Dr. Doom Juggernaut from Earth 21798, which was part of the Heroes Reborn story. And last but not least, we have House of M Doom from Earth 58163 and Ultimate Dr. Doom from Earth 1610, whose name is actually Victor Von Doom, a version of Doom that first appeared in Ultimate Fantastic Four issue 2 and transforms into living organic metal with density control, spike formations, and mechanical swarms. Definitely one to check out. But there you have it, our ranked list of the most powerful versions.
That's it for today. Like, comment, and subscribe.